the Son of Man came to seek and to save what was lost. Jesus was 15 miles from Jerusalem. He knew what was waiting for him there. This was the last journey he would make before his death at Calvary. He was passing through Jericho. The street was full of enthusiastic people jostling with one another to catch a glimpse of this, inverted commas, Jesus of Nazareth. And as he was reaching the outskirts of the town, in the middle of the road was a sycamore fig tree, a tree with a short trunk and strong branches. And sitting among the branches was one of the most loathed inhabitants of Jericho, a chief tax collector. We even know his name, Zacchaeus, a wealthy man, very rich man, cheating his fellow citizens as he collected the taxes Rome demanded. Zacchaeus had heard much about this Jesus of Nazareth, and he was curious to see him. But he was physically short, and most likely didn't want to draw attention to himself. And knowing that Jesus had to pass under the sycamore fig tree, he had run ahead and hidden himself amongst the branches and waited for Jesus to pass by. But Jesus did not pass by. He stopped and looked straight up into the face of Zacchaeus looking down. Those two so near each other. Jesus looking up into the face of Zacchaeus, looking down into the eyes and face of Jesus. Remember the situation. Jesus was on his way to fulfill his Father's will. The reason why he came into the world was about to be fulfilled. To submit himself to something which would be remembered throughout the world, ever afterwards. Something which would transform the lives of everyone who put their trust in him. The most famous and important event in the history of the world. And yet he stopped his journey to look up into the face of Zacchaeus, looking down at him. What did Zacchaeus see as he gazed into the face of Jesus? Whatever it was, transformed his life. What he saw released him from the prison, his obsession and craving for money. He was tied, fixed to money. And suddenly, he was released in an instant. One of the Psalms of David describes God as compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, and, lovely word, abounding in love. As high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is his love for those who fear him. And as Zacchaeus gazed into the face of Jesus, he was caught up in the warmth of love, the overwhelming warmth of love, the reassurance, the acceptance, the sheer kindness, the radiance, strength, and power of love, the most powerful of all things on earth. Saul experienced it on the road to Damascus, and he described it in one of his letters as being gripped by love. Gripped by it, transfixed by it, transformed by love. You know when you're loved. More to the point, you know when you're not loved. You just know it. And Zacchaeus, despised by his neighbors, was transfixed and transformed at the overwhelming love and warmth of Jesus, embracing him as Jesus spoke to him. Zacchaeus, come down at once. I must stay with you today. To this one, this horrible man, this cheat, come down. I must stay with you today. And stayed with him he did. Zacchaeus came down at once and welcomed him gladly. And later that evening, could it be after a wonderful meal, dinner, Zacchaeus stood up and said, "Look, Lord, here and now, I give half of my possessions. This man who was married to money, couldn't have enough of it, suddenly was able to say, I'm going to give half of it away. I'm free from it. Half of it, of all my possessions, to the poor. And if I've cheated anybody, if I've cheated anyone out of anything, I will repay 4 times over the amount." Jesus replied, "Today salvation has come to this home. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save what was lost." That verse is a key verse. It's the theme of the whole Gospel of Luke. And to my mind, this is one of the most amazing miracles of them all, if not the most amazing miracle recorded in Scripture. What a transformation in an instant. And as we think about it for a moment, may I suggest that all of us replace the name of Zacchaeus for our own name and allow ourselves to see what Zacchaeus saw just for a moment, and allow yourself to see what Zacchaeus saw. Jesus looking at you, looking at me, and surrounding you with love, warmth, and compassion. Let's do that.